Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Taylor Nicholson and welcome to my beauty space. So today I am creating this super pretty kind of like creamsicle sunset makeup look. I'm not really sure what I'm going to name it yet, but it's going to be something along the lines of that. This was like super fun and super colorful. I love playing with color during the summer. So if you guys like this video and you want to see how I got it, then please keep watching. So to begin, I am just taking some of my concealer. This is the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I'm using this to prime the eyelids. I like using a concealer to prime my eyelids just because I do have a very discolored eyelids, and you can see my blood veins very well, so the concealer kind of really covers that up. And I also really like to pat my concealer in with my fingers. I just feel like it gives me the most coverage, and since it's just in that little small area on my eyelid, it's just a little bit faster for me as well. And I'm really making sure to take this concealer into the inner corner and all the way out because we are going to be doing a cut crease and we're going to be winging it out a little bit. So I want everything to be nice and primed. And then once I get done with that, I am just taking any kind of like bone colored shade. As you can see, this one has a little bit more of a tan feel to it, but honestly, any light color that you want to use that isn't going to be too dark and disturb your eyeshadows, then use that to set the lid. Sometimes I'll even use my face powder. It's just depending on how I feel that day. And once again with this, I am making sure to set the inner corner all the way to the outer corner and kind of like up around the edge of the eye just to make sure we have enough powder put down so it's not tacky so that our shadows blend well. Now to start the eyes, I'm going in with the shade Eden from my Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I'm taking this on this large domed crease brush from Sonia Kashuk, and I am putting this all in the transition area. As you can see, I am not being too precise with this, mostly because we don't have any face makeup on or anything, so if we mess up, we can clean it up, and because we want this color literally everywhere on the eyelid. This eye look does involve a lot of color and a lot of blending, so we really need a good transition shade so that all of these colors blend out very nicely. And as you can see, I am taking this and I'm taking it from inner corner all the way to outer corner. Like I said, I'm putting this shade everywhere, and I am building it up a little bit just to get to the intensity that I want. So once I get that done, I'm switching to the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, and I'm taking these two really pretty transition shades. I can't remember the names of them, but everything that I use will be linked and listed in the description box below. So I'm taking those on that same brush, and I'm doing the exact same thing with these two colors. Like I said, this whole look is a lot of blending, and honestly, I used a lot of colors in this just to make sure that I had a really gradient effect and everything looked super blended and super seamless. Then I'm going in with these other two shades from the Jaclyn Hill palette. They're a little bit darker. One is a little bit more cool toned. I'm taking this on this little e.l.f. blending eye brush, and I'm taking these colors directly into the crease. But the less product that I get on my brush, I do go ahead and blend it up a little bit into those other shades that we just used. I am using these two shades just because one is a little bit cooler and they are both a little bit darker, and this will just define the crease more, and using all of these shades really makes a really blended eye look, and it's super gradient and super pretty. And as you can see, I'm really packing this shade on. I'm going in little by little and just building it up to the intensity that I want. Now I'm going in with this shade called Pukey. I always remember this color because it's like one of my favorites from her palette. But I'm taking this on that exact same brush, and I'm honestly going in the exact same area that we put the other shades. I am just putting this in to kind of add a little bit more of like a yellow feel to the crease. I didn't want it to be too much, but I also did not want this to be too cool. I didn't want it to be too warm, so I was trying to find a happy medium with this. But I also wanted some of the yellow to peek through so that it really tied into the lid shades. Now I'm switching it back to my Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going in with the shade Amber, and I'm going in with a even smaller brush from e.l.f, and I am putting this directly into my crease, just right into my eye socket, just to really define that area. And as you can see, I'm doing the same thing that I did with the other shades. Once I get less product on my brush, I do go ahead and blend it up a little bit, but not too much, because I am going to go back in with some bigger brushes to help with the blending. But as you can see, this is really starting to define my crease, and I am going in little by little because this color is very, very pigmented. So I'm taking a little bit on my brush at a time, I'm tapping off the excess, and then I'm going right in and applying the product, and then I'm blending it up just a tiny little bit, just so that nothing gets too harsh. And as you can see, I'm really, really taking my time with this because this can get messy really, really fast. And I'm not taking this all the way into the inner corner. I'm putting a little bit on the inner corner, but not too much. I want the main focus to be on the outer edge of the eye. Then I'm going in with that large domed brush from Sonia Kashuk just to blend everything out. And then I will just take some more red and just touch up that area. And now I'm going back in with some more of Pukey, and I'm just going to blend around a little bit more. Honestly, I have all of the colors down that I'm going to put down for the crease. Now I'm just going back in with all of the shades and kind of like blending backwards, if that makes any sense. Like I'm going in with the darkest shade and then I'm going through to the lighter shades just to make sure that everything is really, really blended and everything just kind of blends and melts into each other. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease out. As you guys can see, I always put a little bit of concealer at the base of my lashes, and then I will look up just to see where I need to cut my crease out at. And for some reason, my eyes always turn out different. Don't ask me why. I'm pretty sure it's like a common thing, but it might not be. It might just be me. Who knows? But this trick really helps me out, but I feel like my eyes are two totally different shapes, so I do always have to go in and fix it afterwards, but you know, it's okay. So as you can see, I am taking this concealer and I'm just following that line, and then once I get to the outer edge of the eye, I do kind of flick it up just a little bit, kind of to mimic a winged liner, just so we get that cat eye effect and our eyes look a lot more elongated and a lot more cat-like. I love doing cut creases like this. It just makes your eyes look very sultry, and they're just very mysterious. And I did leave most of the footage of me cutting my crease out in this video, just because I wanted to show you guys that not everybody gets it perfect the first time. I always have to go back through and kind of like even out my creases, even out where I start the cut crease, where I end the cut crease. Just, I always have to go back in and even out everything. So don't worry about it, y'all. If you are cutting your crease out and it takes you like 45 minutes, don't worry about it, because I promise it takes like everyone that long, or most people, I'm sorry, it takes most people that long. So if you like struggle with cut creases and it takes you a while and you have to go back in and touch it up, do not worry about it, because every day that you do it, you get a little bit better until you're just going to be great at them. And now I'm going to go in with my NYX Ultimate Basics palette, and I'm taking this super, super bright yellow shade, and I am just packing this on the inner corner of the eye, pretty much like the inner third of the eyelid. And like I said, I am packing this shade on, and I do not mean that lightly. I mean, I am packing this shade on. I want this to be super vibrant, super yellow, and I want you to be able to see it from like 10 miles away. Then next, I'm going in with the Desert Dusk palette from Huda Beauty. I'm taking this really pretty gold shade, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of it. I have no idea. And I am taking this, and I'm applying it with my fingers. And I am just applying this to the middle of the eyelid. I'm not going over, I'm not going to the left or the right, just right in the middle. And then I will blend it out just a tiny little bit. Next, I'm going in with the shade Blazing from that same palette. It's just this really pretty, vibrant orange shade. And I'm taking this and I am packing it on that outer corner, just like I did that yellow. I want this to stand out and be super pigmented, so I am packing this color on. And as you can see, I'm taking this color all the way out to where that concealer ends, because I want this to be super cat-like. I want the orange to go all the way out. I want it to kind of like mimic an eyeliner, because I'm not sure if I'm going to wear eyeliner or not today. I probably won't, but I do want this to be super dramatic and super, super pigmented, just so we get that cat-like look to our eyes without having to wear eyeliner. Now I'm just going right back in and I'm touching up that yellow, and I'm kind of blending it into the middle right over that gold shade, just so we get a nice transition. And then once I get the gradients between the yellow and the orange that I want, I will go right back in with that gold and just place that right in the middle once again. I put this shade on earlier just to kind of give me a guide, but after I get the yellow and orange mixed together the way that I want, then I will really, really go in with this gold shade and really pack it on the lid and make sure that it's super, super sparkly and super pigmented. Then, of course, I have to go back in with a little bit more orange and just blend, blend, blend. And now we are going to go ahead and move on to the face. I'm going in with this Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid. And I'm actually using this as a primer today. I've done this a couple times in my videos, and it looks crazy at first, but it just makes your skin super, super glowy and so beautiful. Like, right now, I kind of look like I'm rusty. Like the Tin Man or something, but it's okay. It all looks great once you get your foundation on top. But if you have larger pores, I would not suggest putting this all over your face. I would suggest putting this on the places where you want to highlight, and then using a regular primer, like a pore minimizing one or something, on your problem areas, because if you have big pores, this is not going to be good for you. It's going to accentuate them. So for foundation, I'm going with the Laura Mercier Candleglow Soft Luminance Foundation and the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation. And I know it's kind of weird because one is a matte foundation and the other is a luminous one, but I did not want to use the luminous one and have too much luminosity on my face with this strobing liquid underneath. And also, my glowy one is a little bit dark, and then my matte one is a little bit light. So I just decided to mix them together and kind of get like a satin finish. I didn't want a super matte finish. I didn't want a super glowy finish. I just wanted to look healthy. Like my skin was glowing from within, like I just went to the spa or something, you know. And as you can see, once I get this foundation on, my skin does look normal compared to whenever I just put that primer on. But you can still see some of the glowiness and some of the luminosity just peeking through a little bit. But that matte foundation really, really tones it down some so that you don't look greasy. There is a very thin line between looking glowy and looking greasy. And then, of course, as always, I do have to blend some of this foundation down my neck just to be sure that everything matches and we have no makeup lines. Next, I'm moving on to concealer. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer, the same one that we prime the eyelids with. And I am taking this and putting it underneath the eyes, on the chin, nose, and cupid's bow, just to highlight those areas and to cover up my dark circles. I love highlighting and contouring because I feel like highlighting just makes you look more awake and more fresh-faced and just, I don't know, just more alive, I guess you would say. So once I get that down in all the places that I want, I do switch over to a Real Techniques little Miracle Mini Eraser Sponge. And I'm switching to this because I did not want to get too close to our cat eye, to our cut crease. So I went in with this little itty bitty sponge instead of the big one, so I could be more precise when I'm blending in my concealer, and I can really make that eye makeup super sharp and super dramatic. And as you can see right here, I am really taking my time with this because I don't want to mess up my eye makeup. That is my problem a lot of the times. I get in a hurry, and once I get to this part, I end up messing my eye makeup up, and it makes me so angry. So today, I was just going at a normal speed. I was just chilling, taking my time for y'all, and the result is so beautiful with this itty bitty little sponge. And you can get 2 in a pack for like $2.99 at Marshall's, I think, or that's where I got mine. So they're really inexpensive as well. Now, to set my under eyes, I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I'm going in with that same little sponge from Real Techniques. And I'm just going to go ahead and bake right underneath the eyes. I'm going to use the little sharp end of the sponge to really get that powder at the edge of the eyeshadow to make sure that that area is nice and set down. And I'm also taking this powder and I'm going on all of the places where we put that concealer. I'm going on the chin, cupid's bow, nose, and forehead as well, just to lock in that brightness and make sure that it lasts all day. And I'm not letting this sit for too long. I'm letting it sit for like 5 minutes, and then I just went through with a big fluffy brush. This is the Ecotools Full Powder Brush, and I am just wiping this off. And as you can see, the result is super bright and super fresh. Now I'm going to move back onto the eyes just to finish the lower lash line. So I am going in with that blazing shade, that dark orange shade, and I am packing this right on the outer corner of the lower lash line. And I did a really bad job at filming this, you guys. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I could not get it together. So then, not like you can see it or anything, but I am going in with the yellow, and I'm packing this on the inner corner of the eyes. And once again, I was not filming very good, you guys. I don't know what was wrong with me. And once I get those 2 shades down, I do go ahead and I go back in with that big fluffy brush with just a tiny little bit more of Eden on it. And I just blended out that lower lash line. And then I took a little bit of Pukey and I put it underneath the lash line as well, just to add a little bit more of a yellow feel. And then I wanted a little bit more, so I went in with the shade Creamscicle from the Jaclyn Hill palette. I took it on that big fluffy brush, and I just really packed this shade on and really blended out that lower lash line, just so that I would get that really creamsicle lower lash line, I guess you would say. The color explains itself. And then, of course, I went back in and I touched up that yellow and orange just a little bit, just to make sure they were nice and vibrant. Now I'm going back to the face. I'm using this Tarte Pro Glow To Go palette, and I'm taking the bronzing shade on this little domed multi-purpose brush from Sonia Kashuk, and I am just putting this bronzer right into the cheekbones, just to make my cheekbones look a lot more sharp and a lot more chiseled. And then I will also take this around the forehead and around the temples, just to warm up that area. I feel like whenever you just put foundation on and no bronzer, it kind of like makes your face look really flat, and this just adds a little bit more dimension to the look. And I'm also just taking a teeny little bit and running it down the sides of the nose. It's not too much. I'm not putting like any additional product on. To do this, I am just taking whatever is left on my brush and putting it down the sides of the nose. And then I will go down the jawline and down the neck a little bit just to warm up that area. And now I'm going in with this Urban Decay Naked Illuminated Powder. This is in the shade Lit. This is technically a highlighter, but I really like using this for like a little bit of a bronzed glow kind of look. As you can see, it doesn't add too much like color or anything, but it just gives your skin the most healthy, beautiful glow, and it just makes your bronzing and contouring look a lot more natural and just like you've been kissed by the sun. And the brush that I'm using is an Ecotools bronzing brush. Now moving on to blush, I'm going in with this shade Luminoso from Milani. I'm taking it on this e.l.f. tapered face brush, and I am just putting this blush all over the cheeks. I am going on the backs of the cheekbones, like up into the hairline, and then also on the apples of the cheeks, just so that I have an all over flush. And this blush is beautiful with this eye look because it's kind of like corally, but it's really pink as well. It's a perfect mixture between the two, and it has some glow to it, so it just adds to the luminosity of the skin. Now for highlighter, I'm going in with the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlight in the shade Molten Gold. And I am just packing this on to the cheekbones, the chin, nose, cupid's bow, and forehead. Basically to all the high points of the face. And I am not going light-handed with this. I'm going hard with this because I've already said that we are going to be glowy today. We have used all the glowing products, so why should we stop now? Now I'm going back in with that loose finishing powder, and I'm taking it on that damp beauty blender that we used earlier, and I am just putting some powder right underneath that contour just to bake a little bit. So now I'm going to go in and do my brows. I decided to keep this on camera today. This is like my everyday kind of glam eyebrows. So what I do is I go ahead and brush them up, and then I will go in and just line the bottom part of the brow, and then I brush it through again, and then I brush the hairs down, and then I will go in and line the top part of the brow. And then I will fill in the tail, and once I get all that filled in, I go to the front of the brow and I use little hair-like strokes, just small light strokes, just to create little hairs and make the front of the brow look a lot more feathered, and then I want the end of the brow to look a lot more defined. And now I'm just going in with some concealer, and I am putting it underneath my brows just to clean them up a little bit. And I also like doing this because it kind of like gives you a natural highlight underneath the brow, and whenever you put on a highlighting shade, it just looks a lot more vibrant. Or honestly, you can just leave it like this and just put some concealer underneath the brow, and it will highlight it so well and just look so natural and just beautiful. So while I was letting all of that to get set down and everything, I went ahead and popped on some lashes. I used the Ardell Demi Wispies as usual. These are like my favorite lashes. And then for lips, I'm going in with this Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick in the shade Carmelo. It's just a really, really beautiful kind of cool toned nude shade. And this shade is like super nude for me. It's like really, really, really nude. This is probably the most nude that I will go, but I felt like for this look it was appropriate because the eyes are so much I did not want to take away from the eyes. And then while I let my lipstick dry, I went in with that same highlighter and I just highlighted the brow bone with it. And as you can see, this highlight is so beautiful underneath the brows. And especially using a concealer underneath, it just makes it stand out so much better. It makes it so much more vibrant and bright. And I'm also taking that highlighter on my finger and just highlighting the inner corner with it. And now I'm going in with my clear lash and brow mascara from e.l.f. And I'm just brushing my eyebrows upwards to make them look more full, especially towards the front of the brow. I like to brush up. Towards the end, I will kind of tame them back down to the shape of my brow. But for the front of the brows, I really like them to be super feathery and super, super brushed up. And now to finish the lips, I'm going in with this Victoria's Secret lip gloss. It's just a pale pink with some shimmer in it. And I am just putting this all over my lips. And then this is the finished look, you guys. I really, really hope that everyone enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And turn on your notification bells so you never miss one of my posts. You will be alerted every time that I post a new video. And like I said earlier, everything that I used in this video will be listed in the description box below, and it will be linked as well, so it's easier to find. And if y'all like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.